Hello, and welcome to Phantom Brigade. And this is a tactical turn-based strategy game where you're controlling mechs. Um, but this takes a new kind of twist on it, and we'll get into it as we can kind of see here. Um, as we'll get into the levels and whatnot. Um, but essentially it uses a system that you may have seen kind of more for um, kind of ship, either um, you know boat or spaceship combat, and it moves it into more of a land based thing, which is rather interesting. And it's certainly not like um, the Mech Warrior games in terms of that kind of turn-based combat. Although as fun as those games are, um, this is this is set up a bit differently. Although there are mechs involved, and the mechs have different powers, and this has a surprising amount of detail of how you're going to do your tactics. Um, and it's not a simple kind of thing. There's a lot of customization in it in terms of how you're going to program each individual move. And that's cool that the moves are programmed in such a way that it's not simple, um, that there's tactical choice. And obviously, this the other thing about this game is it's got a pretty decent level of graphics it's trying to render. Um, so that is also something to consider when looking at this game. Is oh my, its graphics are wonderful, but it is going to take a little bit to load, um, unless you have a bleeding edge system. But certainly, it's something to look at. Um, and the tutorial kind of sets up the story, um, and we'll get into that and kind of be able to see what they're talking about in terms of how they want to set up the narrative for this game. Um, and yeah, and I don't necessarily want to give too much away before you actually see it, because it's better to show than tell. Here we go. Yeah, as you can kind of see, it's trying to do a lot with rendering. Some very lovely graphics here. And essentially there's a military base. And here come the mechs. Kind of thing. Now, the one thing I have with this is they, at least for a streamer, is that they put music in those cutscenes, which is nice. But if you turn music off, which I have because copyright, then it could be an issue. But there we go. It's kind of setting up there. Here we go. So,
sorry to strap you in so early today, Lieutenant, but we'll have to cut our checks short. We've lost the town comms last night, and I'd like you to take a look at the tower we have half a click north from here.
all right. So, basic controls in this tutorial. So yeah, you can kind of adjust, left mouse button to click a unit, information, there we go. You can choose the run action. And there we go.
Hey,
and
Lieutenant.
advance the turn.
I'm still installing the prototype in my rig, so don't hog all the action till I catch up.
So,
Yes, it's not the most exciting test run of our new tech, but we've got people here counting on us, so let's move out.
so you program
Whoa,
and then you click resolve.
what happened here? Probably just some damn rowdy civilians. HQ, this is Special Field Ops Team Bravo requesting immediate repair detail, over.
This is HQ. Negative, Commander. Repair detail busy until further notice. Stand by.
What could they be busy with? Well, let's see if we can't do a little more recon. Boot up that shiny new device Ops installed in your rig and we'll see what she's made of.
Now this is where they're basically justifying how it works. Is that you now have access
I'll move to
to...
scout one side of the tower. If she's warmed up, you should be able to see where I'm moving and flank the opposite side.
Yes, you have a time prediction engine, is basically the idea. And so that's where we're predicting there. So do that to determine duration of the wait. So you'll wait, and then you'll run there, and then we click execute. See, that's the prediction engine. And there we go. Turn execution is finishing.
Tank. And no transponder. What the hell? Is this some surprise war games maneuver? HQ, we have an unmarked non-cooperative tank at location 2SBR15. Confirm intent, over. HQ, confirm, over. Lieutenant, I'm getting a heat signature from the tank's power core. Check your prototype. If that tank even twitches, cripple it.
All right. So we've got now a tank here. And we know it's going to move there. We're going to move there. So we want to run here. And we can put attacks in our timeline. So if we want... an attack there. That's at 47%, but we can put multiple attacks in, so we can like put that there. Or, we can move these attacks. So we can be like, you know what? We think will be more optimal when we finish moving. So we're going to... Now you're firing. There we go. So that resolved.
Good read on the tank. I'm hit, but just a scratch. What? I'm picking up multiple targets from the north. My God, this can't be right. Take cover! Take cover!
All right. So now, see, more units are coming. We're trying to retreat. And now we have that as an execution.
This is a war game.
Commander, multiple contacts just appeared on our forward slope. Weapons ready.
Treat us hostile. This is not a drill. Intercept and protect the town. We're on our way.
Roger, heading out.
HQ, come in. HQ, do you read? Pinned down by 2 treads. Returning fire.
And so here's where we set up the whole story. Surprise attack.
Got one. Shit, one. Lieutenant, get
And so now we essentially find out that it's not just they're poorly equipped, is that they're very well equipped.
Taking defensive position. The commander's down, but we have to focus. We have citizens to protect.
There we go. And now we'll get to do a little kind of freeform here.
Walker and multiple treads on approach. Remember, if things go to hell, set self-destruct and punch out, so they can't salvage our prototype. Whatever happens, let's meet at evac point R09.
Okay. So here we kind of have some options. So we've got 3 units. So we're going to put up this shield kind of right here. And we also that shield. So we're going to have you do shield and shield. You're going to come up and kind of be a shield. Hold on. These cannot overlap. Okay. Okay, it's not going to let me do that. So yeah, I'm going to confirm that removal because I want shields. And you're going to do that. And I want you to do that. And therefore, you're just going to be holding the shield. You. You're going to run there. And we're not going to do it there. Hold on. I want it to do it maybe there. We're going to do that. And there we go. You are maybe going to get to come up here. And you have a giant beam weapon. And so now we've got all your orders. Let's go. Okay. All right. Well, yeah, so we can replay also what happened. And we can go to plan. All right. So you're going to come that way. Optimal range there. We're going to do that. We're going to have you essentially stand in the path. So there will be some, and we'll try to kill you through that. You are going to come this way and fire there, fire there, fire there. Do lots of fire on these things. And fire there. You're going to do mobile gun platform. You. Okay, you're still kind of engaged. But we do want you to do that. Alright, let's see if we can do that. Yeah. So you did that. Okay. Very good. Crash destroyed. All right. We want you to do that. We're going to have you do that. From there, we're going to come here. Going to do that and do that. This unit is going to come that way. And we'll do that. And there'll be an overheating mechanic that'll come in later, but we're not there yet. You do that. And do that. Let's execute. Yeah. There we go. Using the shields, to kind of bust into treads, throw my weight around.
Almost at the cliff. Go, go, go!
Now this is what I find most unbelievable. Robotic parts like that coming into a roll. Mechs generally don't do well with that. That's a lot of shock value.
If anyone can hear me, we have people counting on us to retake what they've taken from us.
Okay, declaration.
If we are the last ones left.
Declarations of vengeance. And so even though a town, was defended from that assault, it's, not necessarily, but just you kind of see there, you both plan out what your legs are doing and what your weapons are doing independently. And so these aren't robots on their own, they are mechs.
I can only hold this for 5 more seconds.
I only need 3, 2, 1,
And so obviously, the heavy laser.
All local time threads are converging. There's nothing more we can do here.
Yep. And so that's the advanced technology as prediction.
No. Not today.
Yep. And there you finally find this is going to be a much bigger battle.
By the time we realized what was happening, it was too late. We were at war. The border towns and cities were hit first, communications cut, and residents chased from their homes. In their place, they erected military outposts that still watch us to this day. We fought back, and for a while, we even held down the capital. But we were outmaneuvered and outnumbered, outgunned. Eventually, those of us who didn't surrender had to escape. For years, the government has operated in exile. Along with the Home Guard, the remaining remnants of our country's military, they have been fighting tirelessly against impossible odds. But they can't do it alone. We answer to no one, nothing but the call. And now, after years of training, preparing, waiting, the Phantom Brigade is coming home.
All right, and now they've explained the titular kind of thing. The one thing is, it would have added something to know who they were kind of up front. If you're going to have this kind of war kind of thing, and there we go. And so you will now have this kind of overlay. Okay. Tab, return to base. There we go. But essentially, this is now where you are. You've got this world map of where you're moving through, of the land you're trying to retake. You've got your individual sectors and provinces that you're in, and you're trying to do, and they've got ratings for you and some interesting things to do, and it promises here to be interesting because it's a very cool mechanic to plan out kind of what the moves are should nothing else happen, and then you can interfere with them. Obviously, when I ran my mech into that tank last time, it was supposed to keep moving. It didn't keep moving because I interfered with the timeline as expected. But that whole kind of, you plan movement, you plan weapons and defenses, and then you hit execute, and then, for the next 5 seconds of that battle and what happens, it's just being resolved. There's no longer a interference. You'll have to wait for those 5 seconds to resolve before you can plan your next steps. So that promises to be a very interesting tactical, because there's how do you move? What do you target? Your mechs have different armor components on different sides. In this next, they're going to start adding heat. So the more you use your weapons, it's not just going to be use all the weapons will generate heat. And if you're overheating, you'll take damage. So there's just a lot to be there. So, obviously this little tutorial gives an interesting taste of the game. In each mission, obviously with the level of planning involved, each mission may not be that many turns, but there will be a good amount of planning in each one. And then, of course, you have the strategic level of where you're moving your Phantom Brigade, and the tactical level of what you're doing in each battle. So anyone who kind of enjoys this, tactical battles with strategic level map, especially in the kind of the pre-programming of just, okay, this is what I'm going to try to see happening, but I'm not going to be able to base it on each individual action like you would in XCOM or the BattleTech game that's turn-based. It's not that way. You've got to quite literally, pre-program, hit go, simultaneous resolution of each 5 seconds. But this promises to be a very interesting game, and I hope this first look was helpful in kind of understanding what this game is and what it's about. So thank you very much for joining me, and be seeing you.